All right, so this is the Fizzbuzz challenge. Now, Fizzbuzz is a common uh, college question or when you're beginning to learn. This is probably one of the first ones you'll see. And what it is, we're going to write a function. You can just call it like Fizzbuzz. And we're going to get this a number. Let's say 30. This can be any integer, but what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to count up to this number. And we're going to use a for loop to do that. So this will be some good for loop practice. So we're going to use a for loop to count up to 30. But if our number is divisible by 3, we're going to, instead of putting out the number, we're going to put out fizz. So here it's 3, 6, and 9, and 12. See how those are all fizz. If it's divisible by 5, we're going to print out buzz. So 5 and 10 here, they're divisible by 10. And if it's divisible, they're divisible by 5. And if it's divisible by 15, we're going to put out Fizzbuzz. So let's go ahead and write this. So let's go ahead and Fizzbuzz. This is going to take an up to number. And for starters, we don't have to get this complete. When you're doing these brain teasers, if you can get a chunk of it done, that is going to be a win for you. So let's just worry about counting up to this up to number. And for that, we're going to use a for loop. So I'm going to start I at 1. So I want to start counting at 1. So I'm going to create this I variable right here in this for loop. And then I'm going to go I is less than or equal to the up to num. So as long as this is true, we're going to keep running this for loop. And I want to go up to the number, so I'm going to do the less than or equal. And then I'm going to increment I by 1. And for now, let's just console.log I, just to see that we're, counting up to, the up to number. So I can call my function Fizzbuzz, pass it 30. Can run this and see that starts at 1 and ends at 30. So this is why this equal sign is important, because if I just said less than, well, that's going to stop at 29, because 29, once we get to 30, that is not true, so we quit. So I have this part done. Now I can start with my logic of, should I print fizz and buzz and fizzbuzz? So let's do I mod 3. So that was one of our cases. So if it's divisible by 3, we want to console.log fizz. And let's do an else if. And we can do I mod 5 equal to 0. There's our console.log of buzz. And then we can do another else if, I mod 15 is equal to 0. That's our fizzbuzz. Then we can have down here our else, just log the number. Cool. Nope, I don't want to print that command S. So this might look like it's good, but there's actually a mistake in here. There's a small little bug in here. And even though the logic here is, I'm checking to see if we're dividing by 3, I'm checking to see if we're dividing by 5 and 15, even though this is good logic, what is wrong here is the order. And let's run this and see what happens. So notice here it's working good. We have 1, 2, fizz, and then we get to 5, that's buzz, then fizz, fizz. But then as we get up to 15, this is fizz. So this is really part, I think, of this question that it's really trying to get at. It's these order of these if statements are very important. Because once or the if and the else if statements, because once we hit one of these in an if else if block, it's only going to hit one, and then it's going to stop the whole thing, and then we continue our for loop. So what happens when we get to 15? Well, is 15 divisible by 3? Yes, it is. So we log fizz and then we stop. So what I really need to do is I need to check if it's divisible by 15. Now, once I've checked that, then the order of 3 and 5 does not matter. I don't think, because if it's divisible by 15, like 30, 15, 45, these would match. So we could then run this one. And then here, now we have our Fizzbuzz there. So that's the solution to this one. Yeah, you'll need to use a for loop. Oh, I didn't fix this either. The less than or equal to, and making sure you check the case that's this 15 case first. So this is something you just have to keep in mind when you're working with if statements, that does the order of these matter, because a lot of times they do matter. So you just have to get the right one first. Cool. So that's that. Yeah, let's run this one more time just to make sure we're getting that Fizzbuzz at the very end. Yes, we are. There we go. Sweet. Well, cool. That's it for this. Have a good day.